Happy Crafternoon, friends. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great seeing you coming in from all around the world today for another edition of Stampin' Chat Live. I'll tell you, today Tom and I are home in our home studio, and it's been hot in Wisconsin lately. A little rain coming through this week, so that's good for us. I hope that you guys aren't too hot from where you are, although I've been getting the weather reports coming in from the chat, and it sounds like everybody's a little bit hot today. So it is great to see you. I'm casual today, just a t-shirt, and but let's see what Tom's doing over there. Let's welcome Tom to the program. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Ooh, look at you, Jazzy.
Carlton, your doorman here.
Look at your jazzy shirt today.
Yeah, it's summertime.
Yes, that is a summer shirt.
It is summertime, and that's my preference.
Yes.
Have a lot of fun in the summer, so I'm wearing my pirate shirt.
I love it.
Yes.
Well, we didn't want to leave because it was a little bit too cool in the air conditioning today. So we are here in the home studio making it happen. Are you ready for this video, this live today, Tom? This is probably one of your favorite sets that we've ever done, the most favorite.
I think I'm ready.
Okay. You're actually in this stamp set. This stamp set was designed for you.
I should be over there with you.
I know. You should be making this card today for sure.
Oh, boy.
It's a little cramped here, but maybe we'll make another one later this month.
It'll be great.
All right. Well, let me show you the stamp set that we're going to use today for today's techniques. So this is the Great Outdoors, and this stamp set comes in the brand new Relax and Have Fun card kit. And we're going to be creating some silhouette cards today, but we are going to be showing a couple different techniques. One technique is going to be how to create like a horizon, and then another technique is how to create depth and dimension, because a lot of these different stamps, these backgrounds, are meant to be used together. However, if you do them all in black, you're not going to be able to see any dimension at all. So we're going to be using some different shades of gray to create the different levels of depth. And the lighter the gray, the farther back this image is going to appear. And this is something that you can do when you get your set if you haven't gotten yours yet. And that kit is still available. It's getting a little bit limited, but it is available in the What's New category, and I'm sure Brianne will share it in the chat. So Brianne, a big shout out to you. Thank you for being here. You always help everybody. Brianne's it's not just links. I mean, people ask a question, and Brianne's right there with the answer, which is so helpful. Okay, well, let's begin by getting some white cardstock, because everything we're going to do today is going to be on white cardstock as far as our blending goes. And we're going to create all of the colors with ink and blending brushes. So I'm going to start with, let's see here. I'm going to start with a half sheet of cardstock. I'm going to go to the 5.5 inch mark. And then I am going to cut this one down to 4 1/4 for the first card. And the first card we're going to make is going to show how to do a horizon. And I think that, a lot of times these things can look a little bit confusing until you see how it's done. And then you're like, oh, that's a piece of cake. I can do that with no problem at all. All right, I am going to use my sticky mat for this. And that's going to help me a little bit because of these little magical grid lines that are on here. So for this card, I do want it to be in vertical orientation. So I'm going to start by making sure that this just lines up to one of these lines. It doesn't matter which one, but I just want it to line up to a line so that I know the card is straight. Then I'm going to take some Masking Magic strips. Now, if you don't have Masking Magic strips, you can use a low-tack tape. That's totally fine to do. You can also use Post-it notes if you want, but I'm going to use Masking Magic strips because it is pretty easy, and if you have these, this just speeds up your process a little bit. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch strip, and if you're new to Masking Magic, these come in 3 different sizes in the pack. You get 2 sheets of 1/8 inch strips, and then 3 of 1/4 inch and 3 of 1/2 inch. You can tell which is which by the back. because the 1/4 inch ones are in red, the 1/2 inch ones are in green, and the 1/8 of an inch ones are in blue. So we're going to use a 1/2 inch strip, but if all you have is 1/4 inch or something like that, that's fine. You can use whatever works for you. Now I'm going to take one of these strips and I'm going to find a spot on this card where I want my water line to be. So I'm thinking in my brain, I'm thinking of the way Lake Michigan looks to me when I'm biking along Lake Michigan. And so I'm going to create my water line about halfway down, maybe a little bit lower, like right about here. And then if you can see, in order to get this horizon straight, I am actually using the lines on the side of the mat to line up my horizon. Okay, so let's see if you can see that a little bit better. So I've used this line right here, and so rather than trying to see if it's straight here, by using the sticky mat, you already know it's going to be straight. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, you know what, I'm going to move this. I'm going to go to the one above it. Let's go to this one right here because I want my water line to be under the masking magic. So I needed to move it up just a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be my lake line right here. My ocean line too. It can be an ocean. Now I'm going to take a couple of Post-it notes just to protect the rest of this cardstock while I work on this. And that just protects the top of the cardstock. Now I'm going to pick a couple of colors, and I think I'm going to use some turquoise colors. Right now Lake Michigan looks very turquoise out there. And let me find my ink stand. So here is an ink stand. And I want to create a little bit of a darkness right along the edge here. So I can even use a little bit of a darker color. So maybe I've got a tiny bit of Tranquil Teal on this brush. Let me get Tranquil Teal. Let me get another ink stand too. See, it always pays to have more than one ink stand, I'm telling you. All right, I'm going to just start by getting a little bit of Tranquil Teal on this brush. And this is one of our fine detail brushes. And I'm going to actually ink blend on the Masking Magic strip, just letting the bristles just trickle over the edge a little bit. Just because I want that to be a really defined line right there. Just a little bit of definition along there. All right. I'm just coming in right along that edge. Just making that a little darker. See how I just kind of like started up higher? I didn't want it to be a big blotch onto the cardstock, but I just want that edge to be more defined. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with some Turquoise Sea. So I'm going to ink this big blending brush up with some Turquoise Sea. And I'm going to start again up here, but I'm doing bigger strokes to get that water blended really nice. All right, now one thing that I noticed, especially on Lake Michigan, is as it gets closer to the shore, it definitely gets lighter, just like it does at the ocean, right? So I want my darkest to be back here. And then as I work my way down, I'm not re-inking when I work my way down. I'm still getting some turquoise on there, but I'm keeping it lighter. All right. If I want to re-ink and I want more color, I can do that, but I've got to start way back here again, adding that deepest color and then working my way slowly back so that I don't get too much toward the very end of the shore. if that makes sense. Okay, so like that. And if you really want that water to look deep, and we could do that, we could add even a darker color there than the tranquil teal. We could go in with a tiny little bit of blue denim. Let's see where my blue denim is. Here it is. Could do just a tiny bit of blue denim. I don't know if I have a brush here that already has some blue denim on it, but I think I'll start one. Just a little bit of blue denim on this brush. I'm getting a lot of it off though. And then just kind of running that right along the edge there. And that's just going to make the water look deeper toward the horizon, which it is. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got our water where we want it. So now we can take all of this off. We can take this off. You see how that water just gets deeper as it goes back.
Okay, you could stop right there.
Okay.
That's a finished card.
You like that, right?
I love that.
Just sitting there, one beach chair right here.
I can just look and contemplate on that for hours.
I hear you. I feel you. Okay. So now we're going to do some clouds back in here. So I'm going to turn this, all right, the opposite way, just going right to that edge again. So I'm going to the water's edge at the top there. Now I'm going to use one of our stencils. We've got a couple different stencils here that make clouds. We've got the new beautiful backdrops, and this makes some nice clouds. And we also have the sea, sun, and sky, and that makes nice clouds. The clouds are different, so if you layer them together, you get definitely more clouds, right? But I'm going to go ahead and just, maybe I'll use them both. I mean, why not, right? We could alternate them. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use, once again, a little bit of Turquoise Sea. I know, Darlene, it is good to hear Tom's voice on the live again, right? I know. I missed him on Tuesday night. It was lonely. but you guys made up for it. You guys were awesome. Okay, so I'm going to just start here, and I'm going to, now with this stencil, you do want to make sure that you don't like do wide blending where you actually go over the open spots. So I always like to just keep my hand here. Now I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to just start on the stencil and just lightly let the bristles trickle over the edge to create those clouds. All right. So there's some clouds. I'm going to do one more here. I'm going to do one like right here. I feel like I was too big with my cloudage. Okay.
Cloudery.
Cloudery. There we go. I feel like that's better. And if you want, I just threw those Post-it notes out, but it might be a good idea to just have some Post-it notes down here to protect your workspace, just so that, you know, if you do have a wide blend, it doesn't matter. And this also allows you to add just a little bit of darker shading from that turquoise sea right at the bottom of those clouds. Okay, so I'm going to go back and forth between these two because I really, really love how different those two images look. So let's go with this one now. That's the same. Let's go with this one. There we go. Okay.
So Donna said the Facebookers missed the word of the day on Tuesday.
Oh, that's right, because you were on YouTube.
So there was a repeat. The first one that I threw in, we did it months ago, I think. That was, what was it?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, the first one we did, oh, somebody will remember.
Yeah.
But the second one, that was actually the word of the day, that was, let me look it up here.
I know Tom and I are at the age where if we don't write things down, we don't remember. And then if we write things down, we don't remember where we wrote it. So,
Okay, so if you're working on multiple craft projects at the same time, like making 2 or 3 cards at once, which I can't imagine, but I think people out there probably do it under pressure, you know, to get a few cards done. That's simul-crafting. Oh, and Laura, thank you. I said there's a lot of enthusiasm in the crowd on enthusiasm. I think was one we did several months ago, but that's
I don't remember
excitement over the fuse. Enthusiasm.
That's great. Okay, so I am going to add a little bit of color now into the clouds. Aren't the clouds fun? But I want these clouds to have a little bit of color in them, just a tiny bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of sweet mango, just a little bit, and I'm just going to rub some of it off here on these Post-it notes. And then I'm just going to bring a little sweet mango into the clouds down here, because then that makes them look a little sunnier, right? Just a little sunnier. Now, let me put sweet mango back. Now I'm going to add a pink in there. I don't know what's on this brush. There's some pink on this brush already. But any pale pink, like a bubblegum pink, that would work perfectly. I'm going to add a little bit of pink into the clouds up here. Can you see that? How it just changes. Just makes the sky look a little bit prettier, like almost like the sun is just pushing through the clouds. And then I've got a little bit of lilac left on this brush, so I'm going to add a little bit of lilac up here into the clouds. So we've got a little bit of purple coming through. That might not be as easy to see. Let me grab a little bit of wild lilac.
Darlene wants to know, how do you know which colors to add to the clouds?
Well, I like to think of it like, you know, well, first of all, a lot of times I just observe, like if I see a really pretty sky, and I'm like, oh, look at the colors of that sky. I just write down the colors that I see, you know. Boy, that looks like wild lilac, or that looks like passionate pink, or that looks like, you know, turquoise sea or whatever. Then I like to just write it down and kind of follow that. But the one thing that I'm trying to do here is I'm trying not to mix colors that are going to make brown. So, you know, pink to orange works. Yellow or orange, it's a little weird with blue, but I just did a tiny little bit. And then pink to purple works. So kind of like a fade that works. And what I do is I just look at things that inspire me, and then I just pick that as the colors that I use. So if this inspires you, you don't have to like try to reinvent the wheel. Just use the colors that I'm using. Okay. So now let's see how this looks. I don't know if I messed up your view here, Tom, but I think it's okay. It's going to be a very pretty clouds in the sky with the sunshine peeking through them kind of day. There we go.
Oh, yeah, I can go there too.
You can go there. Okay, so now I can pull this card off, and now I'm going to do my stamping. This is so simple, but it does really kind of pack a punch, doesn't it? Now before I go any further, I'm going to clean my cloud stencils real quick with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Just have to clean these because I don't want to put my elbow in it or lay my card in it. And for my next card, you know, I kind of want to do the same thing with the clouds. So but I might do different colors with the clouds. Or I might not do clouds at all. I don't know yet, but I want to keep it neat. So let me just, I'll keep that alcohol wipe. Okay, now I'm going to get the Misty. So we want to get our Misty set up here.
Speaking of Misty, Misty just said, drop in a sailboat and put me on it.
Oh, Misty, yes, for sure. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? In one of our stamp sets, we do have a little sailboat, one of the beachy sets. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we do want to make sure that this looks pretty straight, although, you know, remember the road is not necessarily straight. So the road could be a little curvy, and I'm going to use the more curvy road here. Instead of doing this very straight one, I'm going to use this one that looks like it's got like a little hill, right? But I'm going to cut this out with Master Layouts too. So it's really important that where I place this next stamp is going to be down far enough so when I use Master Layouts 2, it's not just hanging out in space, but it goes all the way to the bottom of the card. So I'm going to use Master Layouts 2 kind of as my placement guide. So I'm going to lay Master Layouts 2 here, and this is where I'm going to cut. I think I'm going to cut like down a little bit more like that. Yeah, right there. So with that in mind, you know, if I took this stamp and I didn't have Master Layouts 2 and I put it up here, see, that would look weird, right? So you want to make sure that your road is going to be down far enough that you've got room. And let's do that again because I just messed it up. But I want it to go right like to the end there. So I'm just going to hold it there, and then I'm going to remove this die, and then I know that it's where I want it to be. All right. So again, it's not important that it goes all the way to the edge because we're cutting this out. But I just wanted you to make sure if you're crafting along, you know, that you don't put this up too high and then you go to die cut it and there's no room. Here we know we have room. Which size die is that on Master Layouts 2? This die is the one that measures 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I want to stamp this before I die cut it, and here's the reason why. Because this has little stitches, and if I tried to stamp black, but there's like indented stitches, those indented stitches are going to look kind of like, they're going to look white. They're not going to get the black ink. Okay. All right. We're in a good spot there. All right. Now I'm going to use the black ink.
Or blink.
Blink. And don't worry, you can stamp it more than once. So I'm just going to do a light touch. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to stamp it again. Okay, now, if there's any little spots that didn't stamp correctly, don't worry about that. Let me just find, and I don't know where it would be, let me just get a blending stump here. So if there's any areas that didn't completely stamp, you don't have to stamp it 15 million times. I'm just going to take a blending stump and I'm going to ink up the blending stump with a little bit of ink, and I'm just going to tap some ink into those little spots that didn't stamp perfectly. And the reason I'm doing that and not trying to like fill it in with a pen or anything, you're never going to get it to match. You just aren't. But this will dry up and you won't even notice that there were any spots. So just keep a blending stump separate for your black ink and silhouette stamps. And this way, if there's any imperfections in the stamp, and it's hard, you know, with these big solid stamps, sometimes there's that tiniest little imperfection, but it's so easy to fix. And the thing is, you know, you could get a new one and then there'll be a tiny little imperfection somewhere else. It's just one of those things that these are not the easiest stamps to manufacture, that's for sure. Every time I send a silhouette stamp set into our manufacturer, they say, oh Lord, She's back. She's back again. Okay, now before I finish this stamping, I'm going to cut it with the die cutting machine and just get that die cutting out of there. And the reason is because it's also going to help me place the rest of the stamps. I don't want to place something in a spot that I'm going to end up cutting a bunch off. So, yeah, get those blending stumps in the action. Are we ever going to make a grip acrylic mat for the Misty that doesn't have the design on one side? No, Sue, we probably aren't, because in my opinion, it's a waste of resources. I mean, just a plain grip mat, you're going to pay the same amount for that as you will with the 2 stamps on the other side, and you get more bang for your buck. So we're probably never going to sway from our design idea. Okay. Because you pay for the piece of polymer, whether it has a design on it or it doesn't. So you might as well get 2 extra stamps out of it. All right. Now I'm going to tape this down because I do not want it to move. There we go. And I want to make sure that my machine is on cut. See if that looks straight, and it does. It's a little crooked on the plate, but the line is right. Okay. The chat is right at the spot in my vision where it's a little hard to see with readers and it's a little hard to see without readers. So I'm constantly doing this.
Perfect.
Okay. Alrighty. Now let's see what we got. We have anything good? We do. Look at that. There we go. So we've got that pretty little dip in the road silhouette. Okay, so you know what, while I'm here, I'm going to cut a black panel. Because I'm here, I might as well do it now. Probably should have cut all the panels, the other black panel, for my next card, but I think I might make a 5x7 today. Let's see. Oh, did I just shift all that? I sure did. I just felt everything shift under me. Well, it's great to see all of you joining us today. I appreciate you being here. I know it's the middle of summer and people are out doing things, but honestly, it's kind of too hot to be out doing things, right? It's more fun to be inside your craft room. Alrighty. So, let me put this away so I don't lose it. Did somebody ask if they could use brown instead of black?
Yes, Marie, could you have used brown ink instead of black to make it look more like sand?
Yeah, you know, you definitely can make these look more, you know, colorful and stuff if you want to. The idea, though, with the silhouette stamping is you want it to appear like a silhouette. So if you want it to be more realistic, then by all means, you know, use colors that are more realistic. So you definitely could make it look more like sand.
Well, and you're kind of having fun with the light source and making it a little bit ambiguous. So if you do a silhouette, you know, the sun could be off frame.
Right. Absolutely. So I would say, you know, the one thing that I always say to people is try it. Try it. It might be the best thing that I've never tried, you know, and then you could share it in our group and you know, turn us on to something new. Definitely, by all means, try it. There's no reason you shouldn't. But if you're going for a silhouette look, then I tend to stick with black just because then everything is kind of the same. All right, now for this part, I'm going to use one of these trees. I'm going to do a tree, like right about here. Maybe I'll use the bigger tree. And then I'm going to put you and me, Tom. We're going to be biking here on this spot. What do you think?
I'm okay with that.
You're good with that? And so here, you know, what's going to happen is this tree, make sure that the bottom of the tree is just resting over that black part. And then that's going to look like it's just growing right out. You're not going to be able to see, you know, where the bottom of the tree is. Okay. There we go. That's so pretty, isn't it? Love it. Now, if you wanted to use a second tree, you could do a second tree in here, and you could overlap them a little bit like that. It would be a lot, though. I feel like for this card, it would be a lot. If you were doing something that was like a 5x7 card, you could definitely have a second tree. And I do like the overlap. Okay, so I'm going to put myself, I'm going to put the girl biker here. Oh, and Tom, today when we give away our gift cards, we got to give away 2 because I forgot to do that the other night. So keep that in mind. All right, so here's me and Tom. And I'm going to go a little closer. Now, you might think that this is going to look like it's going to like run into the tree, but it won't. It won't look like that. All right. These bikers will definitely feel like they're in front of all of this. I love this stamp set from this card kit. I feel like it's so useful for so many different like ages. Like, you know, it can definitely be masculine. It can definitely be for kids. I mean, kids love to bike. Kids love to fish. You know, it's just one of those really versatile designs. I'm going to do one more light stamping here. Not a lot of pressure, just a little, just let the ink go. There we go. All right, so there's our 2 happy little bikers.
Sorry about all the noise. My headphones fell.
Oh, did they hear that? Okay, now the scariest part is to stamp a greeting on here, right? Because you've got this beautiful silhouette. It's all ready to go. But what I would suggest is take your acetate sheet from the stamp set and just, let's make sure there's nothing on here that's going to mess it up. And just lay it on top, all right? Just lay it on top of that grip mat. Now we're going to pick a greeting. So this could be enjoy your special day, happy birthday, enjoy your retirement. I'm going to do enjoy your special day because you're not ready to retire yet, Tom, because I'm not ready to retire. You can't retire until I do. Now, I'm placing this, and what's nice about using your acetate here is the acetate kind of grips the stamp a little bit, so it doesn't like stick to your fingers as much. And then also, once that's in place, you can pick it up and you can stamp on that acetate sheet to make sure it looks straight before you commit to stamping it on the card. So to me, that looks pretty straight, I think. I think that looks pretty good. Enjoy your special day.
That definitely looks like a good day.
It does look like a good day, doesn't it? Maybe we need to have a day like this later. All right. Enjoy your special day. And go. There we go. Looking good. Now, I feel like we could add a couple birds to this card. And those I feel like I could do with an acrylic block. I know that's scary. That's very scary. But why not? Let's do just a couple birds. There's 3 different birds in this. And I like the idea of the 3s. So let's put a bird in the sky. But I always like to have a little piece of cardstock or something. Do I have any scrap cardstock here? You know what? I'll use this little piece. Just because it's here. I always like to just check them first to make sure they're going to stamp well, and that's stamped really well. So I'll add one right here. There's one. Now I'm going to add a couple more. This one's flying in the opposite direction.
It's amazing how high some of those birds can go.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my gosh. There you go. There's another one. And we'll do one more. I'm using all three of them so we can just see what they all look like together. This one is more like, just like sailing downward. There we go. We got all three of them on there. Oh, don't worry, we're not going to retire for a while. I can't imagine like not being here with you guys. So it'll be a while before I ever want to not hang out and make cards and design products. It's going to be a long time. I mean, there's always, you know, the chance that, you know, there's always that forced retirement where you get sick or something like that. But I'm not planning on that either. See, I'm working out. I'm riding my bike. I'm trying to stay in shape.
We'll take a Gina K break. There's something called the Gina K break at the Gina K operation. And it's... Gina will say, I'm taking a break, but it's not like she stops and, you know, relaxes with something. She just switches to something different.
That's right. I'm taking a break, and I'm going to do a different job for a little bit. I'm taking a break from stamping so that I can design something new. Okay, so that's that on butterscotch, Tom. What do you think of that? Let's look at that one for a second. And then here it is on tranquil teal. It's kind of too much blue, I think. Do you lose the sunshininess?
Well, that looks to me like it's very cool, like an evening spring ride.
Yeah.
And the other one brings in the earthiness.
Okay.
Like, so I think it's more of a late after, like 6 o'clock or something, like where the sun's down, so you get a silhouette, but it's still kind of warm.
Yeah, I see the comments coming in, and there's people saying yellow, butterscotch. Now I'm seeing a lot of teals. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I feel like it's almost, you know, if you have like too many options, it's not a good thing. Somebody said pink. This would be like innocent pink. I mean, I guess it would depend on who you're giving it to. Do you notice how whatever color you put it on, that like gets brought out in the card? So like as soon as it went on the pink, I started seeing the pink in the clouds. As soon as it went on to the butterscotch, I started seeing the yellow in the clouds. And then as soon as I put it on the teal, my eyes drawn more to the water. So, you know, I'm not retiring. Somebody just came in and said something about retirement. I promise you I'm not retiring. All right, well, let's see. I'm going to do it on the teal because I feel like there's more teals, but the good news is I made one earlier on the butterscotch, so I have one of each. And see, this water's lighter. See how just playing with the water a little bit and the colors and the heavy-handedness? So I'll do this one on teal so we have one of each. I'll take pictures of both and share them in our Facebook group and also here on the YouTube channel on the post tab, so you'll be able to see them. And I know some of you like pink too.
What about a lighter blue?
A lighter blue? Well, we could try that. Let me just fold this. And
we could try that as code for... We won't try that.
No, we could try it. Here, this is, what is this? This is Ocean Mist. Let's just look at it with Ocean Mist. I don't know. That's pretty too. They're all pretty. Here's the teal again.
No, I like the teal.
You like the teal? Okay. I like them all. See, the more we try, the more we're going to get people saying, I like that one the best, because they all essentially
Yeah, some people like the lighter blue.
See? All right. Well, I'm going to do the teal because I already folded it. And we'll take pictures of it. And then if you guys make these cards, please do them on different card-based colors so we have a little library of different ones that we can use. But here it is in the Tranquil Teal, and here it is in the Butterscotch. Different, like heavy-handed with the clouds and all of that. They're both really...
I would have to keep a folded card of each color and try every single one.
And you can.
It would take me 20 minutes to pick one.
It is hard to pick one, and I'm telling you, it would probably look beautiful on lilac too, like wild wisteria or wild lilac, and it would probably look good on craft. So, you know, it's really like a little piece of art, and it doesn't even matter really what you put it on. But I do find that my eye is drawn to the part of the card that equals the background. So like in this card, I am so drawn, my eye is drawn right here on the horizon to that yellow because of this yellow. On this one, I'm definitely drawn to the horizon of the water, like where the water is because of this background. So whatever you want to accent, it's kind of good to think in that way. Like if you feel like, oh, I wish I had more pink on that card, put a pink card base in there and you get the pink next to it and the pink will just pop right off the card. So, okay, well, that's our first card. Now, our second card, I thought maybe we could do something like with a frame and really make it look like art, but also making it a 5x7 card. But with that in mind, we're going to have to add, you know, make this a little bit bigger, okay? So, we're still... Let's see. Maybe we don't have to make it that much bigger. I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We can always cut another piece of cardstock. Because here's what I'm thinking of using. I was thinking of using Master Layouts 20 and having, oh yeah, this is plenty big enough, having it come through this wide frame. And then I wanted to do some creating with different grays on this. Okay, so we're going to start by creating some clouds again. And for this one, I want to do, this is one of those times where, you know, we're going to do like some crazy colors of clouds. So let's, and we don't need a horizon on this one either, which is really nice. We can just start going and seeing what happens. All right, so I'm going to start with a really, really pale pink. So I'm going to do like some innocent pink. Let me find, or maybe I'll just do whatever's left on this brush. I'll just add some innocent pink to that. Let's find innocent pink. Where's innocent pink? Here it is. Innocent pink is very peachy pink. So I might get a paper towel and just rub off some of this here. Okay, Darlene, thank you for coming. Come back and watch the end, because this card you're going to like. All right, so I'm going to go back to those clouds again. Let me find the cloud stencils. I've used 3 products, and I have an unbelievable mess already. Because I need to put my stuff back there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the clouds again. Now, the first cloud that I'm going to use here, I'm going to go low on my clouds. Just going to go kind of low here. Let's make sure that this is going to work with that Master Layouts 20. That's why it's kind of nice to have your die close by, so you can make sure that you're... Did I take it out and not put it back and lost it already? Oh, my word. Gina. Here it is. Yeah, I think I might... That might actually be a good place to start, like right here. Okay, we'll start right here. And then I'm going to cover this part of the stencil just so I don't mess it up. We're going to make some mountains, okay? So we're going to start with pink. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just trickle over the edge here with innocent pink. And remember, our sky does not have to be realistic. It can be whatever we want it to be. So let's take a look at what that looks like. That looks pretty good. I like that. Now I'm going to take that same pink and I'm just going to kind of go along here. Down here to make that cloud look a little pinker. Okay. Now I'm going to get my next color, and I'm using the other stencil. I'm going back and forth between the Sea, Sun, and Sky stencil and the Beautiful Backdrops stencil. So now I'm going to use some peach Bellini, and I don't have a peach brush, an orangey brush, so I will start one. So I'm going from pink to orange. This is going to be fun. Now I'm going to add some of that peach Bellini in there. I'm going to go back and add more pink. I feel like I don't have enough pink in here. Okay.
Liz wants to thank you for always giving them amazing ideas on how to use your card kits.
Aw.
So very helpful.
My pleasure. I say this a lot, but you know, I really want you guys to use your stuff. It's like really important to me that you guys use your stuff and have fun with it. And I think that's why, you know, it's really important to me that when something comes out, it's not just one video and done. Like, to me, I feel like we have to keep going with it. We have to make more things. And the kits are pretty jam-packed with stuff anyway. All right, now I'm going to use some wild dandelion. There we go. A little yellow on the edge there. I'm going to bring that yellow in. Okay. This is going to be fun. Something different. Now, I know that there isn't a green sky. I know that. But I think what I'm going to do is, did I just use, no, I used the other one. I think what I'm going to do is go to like Turquoise Sea, but then I'm going to blend Turquoise Sea into that yellow to just a hint of green. So
let's call this card Hang Gliding on Saturn.
You think Saturn has rainbow clouds?
That's what I just thought of. I don't know.
You think? I don't know. Hang gliding on Saturn. Could be. All right, now I'm going to go down here with the turquoise. And I'm just going into that yellow a little bit.
Kat wants to know where she can find the rotating ink pad holder behind you.
That is from Stampin' Storage, and I'll link that into the description. Stampin' Storage was so kind to give me an affiliate link, so I will link that after the video in my description here on YouTube, so you'll be able to find that. All right. So let's make sure that's completely dry. I'm going to do one more layer up here that, wrong stencil. I'm going to do one more layer up here that we're probably going to end up cutting off anyway, but if we don't, or we catch a little bit of it, it'll be good. So just one more up here in purple. Just a little purple. So I have a little wild lilac still on here.
Lisa said the rings of Saturn are made from lost luggage.
That's funny. She's not wrong. Where is our lost luggage all the time? Okay, so we just got a little purple in there, and then I'm going to come just down into that with that purple. All right, now we're going to do some stamping before we cut. So most of that's going to get cut off anyway. You know, it's going to kind of look like that, but at least we get that like hint of purple in the sky. Isn't that pretty? I think that's a really pretty blend. And it's not too rainbowy, but it's just really cheerful. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, green sky, hurry up, go inside. That means a tornado's coming if you're from Wisconsin or anywhere in the Midwest. But if the other colors are there, I think we're okay. Okay, let me get the Misty back out. Now we're gonna do a couple layers here of mountains. Okay, so we've got a couple mountains here, and I do want to make sure. I think what I'm gonna do is, I don't have a pencil close by, but do I have a pencil close by? No, I don't think I do. That's all right. That's okay. I think...
What do you need?
A pencil. Yeah, I could use that. That'll work. Just gotta throw it. Gotta throw it, Tom. Woo! Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just mark like right off to the side here, because this is about where I'm going to cut. So I'm going to mark right here off to the side about how far down. Just put a little line there about how far down I need to make sure everything comes to. And that'll help me decide where to place my mountains. So I've got two mountains here. I've got this higher mountain and this lower mountain. So the higher mountain, I'm just going to put in here like this. And I'm going to do that with soft stone. Okay.
Do you recall, Jane wants to know, where you got the plant behind you?
This plant
Yes.
here? This
The faux plant?
This plant, I got it at a store called At Home. But it was a while ago. But that's where I got it, At Home. And you can find these, like, even if it's not exactly this one, you can find something similar to it. Yeah, they're fake. These are fake little babies too. I just thought they were cute and they fit on the shelf. Okay, so I'm going to do this with soft stone. Now, I don't care if it looks pimply too, like if it looks rough, because this is in the distance, okay? This is like way in the distance, this mountain range here. So I kind of want it to look rugged and kind of messy like this. I'm not doing it twice. You could do it twice if you wanted to.
Oh, that is so cool.
Isn't that cool? Now, we're going to do a second mountain range, and we're going to bring that in front of the other one.
Those are like little campsites on the mountain.
Right? So we're going to bring this one in. Like right in here. And we're going to do this in the next darker gray from Soft Stone, which is Stormy Sky.
I can keep myself occupied with very little.
Now this one, this looks a little bluish to me, but I think it's going to be okay. Okay. That really does look kind of bluish, but it's okay. We're going to do 2 of these, I think. I'm going to stamp this twice. I have not used this shorter mountain, I do not believe. So it may be, you know, fighting me a little bit because it's got some manufacturing residue on it. But that's all right, because I want it to look a little broken up. All right. Now, I'm going to go to my final one, which is going to be black. And that's going to be, I'm going to use that same stamp that I used for the bikers right here. And this is where the golfer is. This is where my golfer is. He is just chilling here down at the bottom. This is where he's going to be. Now you could make this a biking card too. It doesn't have to be a golf card if you're not a golf person. But now we're going with black.
That would have been a great sentiment for this set. Just chilling.
Oh, that would have been, yeah. Now this one I'm going to do a couple of layers because I want this to be really solid. Okay, so now let me pull this up here. You can see that front with the golfer is going to be right in the front there. Okay. Now, let's get the golfer. We're going to put him. Do we want some trees first? I think we want some trees. Let's put some trees on here. Now again, I want to see where he's going to be. So this is kind of our frame. So it's okay if the trees go outside of the frame. I just want to make sure that like the trunks are inside of the frame. So I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to move this out of the way. So we'll put a tree right here. And we'll do the tree in black. So you're kind of getting the idea, right? Now see how, now that you've added trees in a tree in front, do you see how this mountain range looks further away and then this one looks way far in the distance? You could even put another one up there and use a color like Whisper, which is our lightest gray, or you can use soft stone but stamp it off once on a scrap piece of paper and then stamp it again. Okay. Now, we're going to do this one. I want to see where this tree is going to land. I'm going to do this right here. Like that. So we've got a bigger tree. So this tree is going to look like it's a little bit closer to us, just because it's bigger. Okay, now we've got two trees, and then we're going to cut that out like that, and we're going to have our little golfer in there. I don't know where he's playing. I feel like he's playing somewhere in California. Wouldn't you think, Tom?
Yeah, that's I think that's right.
Feels like a California kind of thing. Now I peeled the golfer off, and I don't know where to put him. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to have him standing right down here, taking a swing. Let's get his feet so we can see at least one of his feet. All right. We're going to have him right out front taking a swing. He's got all these obstacles in the way with these. Yeah, we need a sand pit. You're right. In the sand. Okay. Now I'm going to use my black ink pad and my blending stump to fill in this little spot right here, and only because I don't want to lose detail on that golf club. That's really skinny, and so I didn't want to lose any detail of that by, you know, getting too much ink on there.
Or if you got a view like that on the golf course, do you really care where the ball goes?
No, you don't. You don't care at all.
Just bring a lot of them.
Now I have this tiny little golf tee here. Golf flag. And I'm going to put that right here. Now you would think, you know what, let me put my acetate up here just to make it easy. You would think that this would get lost in the mix, but it won't. You're gonna see it, and it's and like I'm putting it right next to the golfer, but it's gonna appear like it's really far away. Okay, so we'll put that there.
No, I think it'll look like it's near him.
I don't want it to be too close to him though.
No, I mean as far as distance.
Yeah, it's gonna look like it's in the distance.
No. What do you mean in the distance? From him?
Yeah.
I think it's going to look like it's right next to him.
Really?
Like, yeah, as far as distance, it's right where he's taking the shot.
Well, that's not good.
Why?
Because he's taking a shot and he's supposed to be aiming for this out in the distance.
I'm sorry. I thought you were putting the golf bag on.
No, not the golf bag. This is the flag.
My bad. Back to the dead space.
All right, we'll see how it looks.
No, you're right. You're right.
We'll see how it looks.
I was distracted. Grammy Sue said, looks like Palm Springs.
All right, that's going to look good. I think that's going to look good. It does look like Palm Springs. Yes. Okay, I think this is going to look good. So
does he slice it through the trees if the flag is off to the right? Is that what you do?
I don't know. I'm not a golfer, but see, doesn't it look like it's way out there?
Yeah.
And that's what it's supposed to look like.
That's a tricky shot.
I know, it's a tricky shot.
I'm glad I don't have to try to make that shot.
I know, you're on your bike.
All right.
You're not doing this at all. All right, should we put a bird up there that he could aim at? Now, we could have his golf bag. Somebody said, why is there a giant cricket in this set? Somebody thought that was like a big cricket. Like a bug.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were laughing at themselves saying that. But we'll put his little golf bag right here next to him.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing before.
Oh, you were seeing the golf bag next to him? I think it's perspective, like it's how big and small the things are that make them look close or far away, too. Like there's his golf bag right with him. But see, the tee is still far away. Not the tee, the flag. The tee is the thing you put the ball on, right? See, I'm not a golfer at all, obviously. Obviously, I'm not a golfer. Okay, so let's take a look at this up close. Let me pull this off so you guys can see all the details there. Isn't that fun? Now, if you wanted this to be an A2 size card and you wanted more of the scenery in there, you could easily cut this out with master layouts too. It should work without a problem here. You know, you should be able to get a lot of that in the picture. But I was just thinking it might be fun to do a framed out version and make it a 5x7 card. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think, Tom?
What are the options?
To go with like a 5x7, so making it a big card, a 5x7 with like a frame around it. And then the other option is to make it a small card like that. Should we try the 5x7?
The 5x7 with the frame. I like the framing that you did before. It looks very much with the theme of like coming out of a very narrow area into this huge open space.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this kit isn't sold out. You can still get this kit. It's available. This one isn't sold out yet. I saw somebody say I was bummed out about not getting the kit.
Can you throw that pen back?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. There we go. Okay. We need to have more than one pen, I've determined. That's silly that we have one pen that we're sharing. Okay, so let's cut this out then. We're not going to cut it yet. We're going to cut a couple of frames. So this is the Master Layouts 20. Wow. Master Layouts 20. We're going all the way up to Master Layouts 20 here. And we are going to create, I have a bigger version of this card, like an A2 version that you guys can look at when I'm done. So we're not, it's not really a matter of we'll never see it again. I'm going to show you that too. And I'll take pictures of everything that I have. Plus, I'm not going to make a fishing card today, but I have a fishing card to show you. Okay. So we're going to cut this out with Master Layouts 20. But it's fun to see how the mountains were done. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to cut 2 of these just so that it feels like we've got a little bit something more hefty. I could cut 3, but see how nice that cuts? Cuts so nice. Alrighty. And then I'll save this that fell out for another card. That's part of that set. I'll cut a second one. I know a lot of you guys make 5x7 cards, so, you know. What is the name of the kit? The kit is called Relax and Have Fun. And so it's got all kinds of fun things in it. For example, it's got this set that has all these fun outdoor activities. But then it also has the set in there with the gaming and, you know, all the stuff. It's called Next Gen for, like, kids and people that like to game. And so it's great for, like, all ages. It's one of those must-have sets. I might do 3. I think I'll do 3, if you guys don't mind. I think layering 3 of these together is going to just give it exactly what we need. And then we're going to cut the outer panel with Master Layouts 8. So Master Layouts 8 is another 5x7 Master Layout set for those of us that like big cards. And I know I say this every time I use 5x7s, but my mom, God rest her soul, I used to make handmade cards for her, and she kept every handmade card that I ever made for her. But when I would make a big card, like a 5x7 or a slimline, you know, just something big, she always liked those cards better because she was of that age where the size of the card equaled the amount of love. And I guess that comes from, you know, when you go into the Hallmark store or whatever, and the bigger the card, right, the more expensive it is. So she always equated, like, that it was, I loved her more when I sent her a bigger card. So I think that's kind of cute and sweet, but we all know that the A2 card takes the same amount of time to make, and we're making it out of love. But for her, that was important. So, you know, I started making bigger cards for her over the years. All right, there we go. We're focused in now. So now I'm going to just tape these together, just using tape runner. But I just really want to puff it up so that it looks like a frame. Now, if you really wanted to get fancy, you could wood grain this, right? And make a wood grained frame around it. That would be really nice too. But I also think that the white is nice. Okay, there we go, and we'll do one more. These are easy to layer together. They're big enough to hold. They're not like, you don't have to use glue. You can use tape because it's like a big wide frame. It makes it very easy. Okay. Nice big frame. Now when we put that on here, that's going to give us a nice kind of lift off of the paper. So I'm going to trim a little bit off the sides here. I don't have to do a lot of trimming, so don't go crazy, because you definitely want to make sure that it still fits inside that hole. I'm just going to trim a little bit off the sides. We'll see if that is enough to hide everything. Yes, I think that'll work. Okay. So there we go. There's our nice frame. I think I told you guys too, when my mom did pass away, my sister and I were cleaning out her place, and I found a whole box of cards, but they were only the handmade cards. They were the ones that she kept. The store-bought ones, they didn't make it. But the handmade ones made it. Okay, so now I'm going to just line this up where I want it. We'll get a little bit of that purple at the top. That look pretty good. That looks good. All right.
I love this set because it just captures moments.
It does. It does. Okay, so now I'm going to cut a black panel from Master Layouts 8, which is right here. I need to cut the plain large die out of black. And I have a big piece of black. And then we got to figure out what we're going to do with the greeting for this. So let's cut one of these. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it chokes you up, right? When you find out that they kept all of those cards, and how sometimes people don't even say like thank you, or, well, they say thank you for the card, but they don't really they don't say anything about the fact that it's handmade, right? No, Candy, my sister is not like a card maker. She used to do stuff like that. She's more of a fiber arts person. She likes to knit or crochet more. So she is crafty, but she's not a paper crafter. But I remember we both got into stamping before Rena and her son Drew, before they went to school. So my older daughter Alicia was in a Christian preschool, and like when she was 3 and 4, they had like a little Christian preschool where you would go for like 2.5 hours. It wasn't like a whole day or anything, but you would go for 2.5 hours, and it kind of helped get them ready for the idea that they were going to go to school, but it was more Christian themed. And so she went to that, and then I would drop her off, and then I would head over to my sister's and let Rena and her son play together. He's a year younger than Rena, and we would make cards and stuff, and we would go to the big box hobby store, and we had my Stampin' Up! Kit and stuff, and we would craft together that way. I don't think she does it at all anymore, though. I mean, I've never seen her do anything like that lately. Did I turn that over? I think I did. Okay. So, let's get that in place. There we go. Oh, that's kind of nice, you know? Kind of. So what kind of greeting should we put on here? Let's find the stamp set again. I want to stick with this stamp set. I feel like sometimes it's nice to not reach outside and we could just stamp something right on there. Should we do Enjoy Your Special Day again, or should we do Enjoy Your Retirement? Anybody retiring and playing golf? We could also just do Happy Birthday. You could do Happy Birthday and then Enjoy Your Special Day on the inside. let's do Enjoy Your Retirement. This would be a great retirement card, especially as a 5x7, because if, like, let's say somebody at work is retiring, if you make a 5x7, it gives everybody more room on the inside to sign their name, and you can kind of see how nice this would come together. All right, so we'll do Enjoy Your Retirement. It's scary. It's very scary to stamp something. All right, I'm going to stamp it on the insert again just because I don't trust myself. Okay, good. I do see a lot of people saying retirement. I see birthday too. Feel seen. I saw you. Let's just see how this looks. Yeah, I think that's going to look good. I think that's going to look straight. Does it look straight? Or is it the clouds? I think it's going to look straight enough. I will clean that in a minute. Just want to get this on here. I do feel like it's a good retirement card because a lot of people do like to play golf. That is nice. I have a lot of friends that when they retire, they're just going to retire on a golf course somewhere. I know it.
Watch, she'll give me this card tomorrow.
Enjoy your retirement, Tom. But then you find out I'm not retiring and you've just been fired.
Right.
No. I'll tell you, I was here by myself. With them, they were great, but they couldn't run the controls. And it's a lot to keep track of. So I appreciate you very much. I do. All right, I am very inky, but we're going to cut a card base for this. So we're going to do, let me get my big cutter out of here. Here it is. So for a big card base, what color should we do? Should we make it bright and fun, like with yellow? Let's see what the yellow looks like. This bright yellow. Is that too much? Does that not feel like soft and retire-ish? Let's try soft stone, because for some reason I think of this more like maybe a little bit more masculine and more subdued. What do you think of that? Does that bring out more of the colors, where you can see that little bit of color?
I have a suggestion before I retire.
Okay. What's your suggestion?
So it feels like with golf,
yes,
there should be maybe, I don't know, green somewhere.
Okay, yeah. Let's look. So
it's a big part of golf.
It is, the green. There's no green. So let's look at, this is grass green. What do you think of that?
Can we go brighter?
Brighter green? Let me put it behind white. Okay, brighter.
That's nice. I don't know.
Brighter, we could go jelly bean. Let's try jelly bean green. That's going to be bright.
We got a green yes, followed by a nope.
Oh, the yellow is the wrong shade. You know, I used that wild dandelion in there, though. But maybe it changed because it has a little green mixed in it. So maybe you're right. It might be the wrong shade. So that green. All right, I see people saying green, green, green. And then some people are saying that they like this green because it's bright. And other people are saying they don't. So let's go with the bright green because that was your suggestion, Tom. We'll just blame it on you. That makes it easier for me. I'll put soft stone away for another time, although I agree with all the people that said soft stone looked nice as well. Now,
wait, you don't want to consider it a little more?
No.
Go back and forth?
No.
All right.
I'm good with this. I think it's fine. It's a card, you know. It'll be totally fine. Now, with this paper cutter, I am going to need this, though, because I have to make this.
Retirement can be nice.
Yes. It definitely can.
I'm looking forward to retirement tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, after this color. Just kidding. All right, so we've got to make it 10 by 7. for it to be a 5 by 7 card. So 10 by 7, and then we're going to score that at the 5-inch mark. So, where are my glasses? They're hanging on me. It's all fun. It doesn't, it's not, ooh, I almost did 5.5. Ooh, 5. Gotta remember, 5 inches. And then if it doesn't go all the way to the end, just go ahead and, you know, add another line there. It's got a little spot on it, but I told you guys, I always get all the cardstock that has the defects. So you're going to find my cards are not as perfect as yours when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I think it's fun to use these this master layout set. It does make it feel more like a little piece of art when you frame it out. And if you like this frame, but you don't necessarily want 5 by 7, we have the same frame for A2 in Master Layouts 19. So Master Layouts 20 is for this size, and Master Layouts 19, which I don't have here, I have it somewhere, but Master Layouts 19 is the smaller version. So you can look into that one as well. So here is that card. Now I made this card in a different color with different scenery, and I only did one mountain range. So you see, you don't have to do the whole big chunk of mountains. You could just do one mountain if you want it to be. This feels a little bit more like Arizona. This feels a little bit more like California, right? Because Arizona still feels a little flat, even though it has mountains. I know it's not, but...
That looks like a much easier shot.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you
open.
notice on this one, I didn't use black for the
right.
tee-off area. I used Stormy Sky, which makes all of this stand out a little bit more. Where here I have him up against the black, but I needed those two grays to create separation from the mountains. So either one of these, whichever way you like it best, you know, that's totally your call. And then I want to show you one more card I made with this set. This is the fishing, and I did a sunset. So this is fishing at sunset. I used like a sweet mango down here into that passionate pink, into medium lilac, into turquoise sea, into blue denim. So turquoise sea was a little bit brighter, and it just kind of gave a glow in there, and I thought that's kind of a good spot to add the retirement. And then I just used that one image that we didn't use in the set, this one right here. Let me just get it against white. This one right here has, like, it's kind of rocky and it's got little rocks in there, and then you could just perch him on the outside anywhere and just pick a spot in here to drop the line.
Oh, and it's an amazing touch that you don't know where the sky ends and the water begins. That's
Isn't that fun?
That's very cool.
Yeah, and you can, I mean, so you could do that. Or if you wanted to, you could also do what we did in that other card. Where are those other cards? Here they are. They're all piled under here. So you could also create a water line and a horizon on this. It could be very low. And then just have, you could even, here's the thing. You can create a horizon to make the water more distinguished, but you don't have to make it blue. You can make it orange. So you just need that little line going across there to determine, because if you've looked at water on the sunset, it doesn't look blue. It looks almost gray or black or blue or orange or whatever is reflecting on it. So these are some fun cards. I love what we made today. These two are super fun. And then these I made for our release party, and I shared them during our release party. So I'll take pictures of all of them so you have all of these to inspire you when you get your kit. And this kit is available still, so make sure you get it before it sells out, because honestly, the kit's worth like $140 and it's only $59.95. So it's got some nice pieces in there to make all kinds of cards for all different people on your card making list. And that's what I love about it. It's really versatile. It's kind of a missing something that we needed in our collection. We got a lot of flowers, and I'm not going to stop making flowers, but this gives us more options for people. So, well, I hope you like these. Now, Tom, we're gonna do 2 winners today, right?
We've got 2 winners,
Okay.
yes.
Now, before we do that, if you like today's video, and we sure hope that you have, if you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, it really does help our channel get out to other people. If YouTube thinks you like us, it might think other card makers will like us too. So go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, and then you can hit the subscribe button. You have that graphic, Tom? So they could, yeah, there we go. So you can hit the subscribe button, and then underneath it'll drop down, and there's a notification bell. Hit all notifications, and then whenever we make another video or we're ready to go live, you'll get a notification so you won't miss it. And then I want you to know, oh, Tom, do you have a word of the day for today? People are asking, like, where's your word of the day?
Shall we do a quick word of the day?
Yes, let's do a word of the day, but come back in because they want to see you. There we go.
Okay, so quick word of the day. We'll sneak it in. All right. So a couple weeks ago, we did a word of the day. It was shinspiration. That's the thoughts that come to mind when you whack your shin so hard that you go to another planet. So
Saturn.
This is similar. This is very similar because that happens. This happens to me a lot. I don't know. I was walking around my desk the other day, and this time it was the knee. And you could say the feeling I had after that happened and the light I saw, you could say that I was inebriated. Word of the day, inebriated. Knees and shins just find their way into my world.
Into your daily life.
Word of the day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Tom's tan because he gets up every single morning and rides his bike before work.
Yeah, I get out
every
there.
single day. All right. I like that word of the day. Now, if you're not part of our Facebook group, we'd love to have you over there. It is called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. We would love to have you join our group. And then if you missed any of Brianne's links today, and a big shout out, Brianne. Thank you so much for being here week after week. We love you. You can find everything I used today over on our website at ginakdesigns.com. And if you're looking for the kit, this kit is called Relax and Have Fun. And you can get this stamp set plus 2 other 6x8 stamp sets. 2 die sets are in there and a layering stencil set, all for $59.95. All right, Tom, let's pick some winners.
Okay. Drum roll, please. Here we go. The winners. 2 winners. 1 for last Tuesday and today. The winners are Marsi Cerv and Cheri Davis.
Yay!
Marsi and Cheri.
Yay, Marsi and Cheri. Congratulations. Okay, ladies, all you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that out to you. Okay, everybody. Well, this was so much fun, and we thank you so much for being here today. Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live, and until then, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and mwah, we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.